This video is designed to review with you the three phases of the short-run aggregate supply line. As you hopefully remember, the short-run aggregate supply line represents the total value of all the goods and services produced in our economy. In other words, total output. And we've discussed previously why the short-run aggregate supply line is upward sloping. What you see before you is actually only one of the three phases of the short-run aggregate supply curve. But since it represents a normal economy, it usually is the only phase which we draw. In this normal or intermediate phase, businesses can make more output, but in doing so will create an increase in the price level. This is due to the fact that businesses will likely have to bid to obtain some of the resources, the land, labor, and capital they need to increase production. Using a local example, say GE Medical wanted to significantly expand their production. They could likely find some unemployed people, land, and machines, and could pay the prevailing market price for these. But they would also likely have to hire or buy some people, land, and machines that other companies were currently using. And to obtain these, they would have to bid more. That would cause the price increase. So under normal circumstances, the economy can make more, but in doing so, there will be a small amount of inflation because businesses will have to outbid other businesses for resources. At the far left of the graph, at very low levels of output, the aggregate supply line becomes horizontal. This range is known as the Keynesian, after the economist John Maynard Keynes, or simply the horizontal range. The horizontal range corresponds with an economy in deep recession. During deep recessions or depressions, there are so many unemployed resources that a business wishing to expand could easily obtain all the resources it needed without having to outbid anyone. And therefore, there would be no upward pressure on prices. So businesses could expand without paying higher prices for their resources. And therefore, we would get more output with no inflation. At the far right of the graph, the aggregate supply line becomes vertical. This range is known as the classical, or simply vertical range. The vertical range corresponds with an economy that is absolutely booming. During an economic boom, there are virtually no unemployed resources. Therefore, if a business wished to expand, it would have to outbid another business for those resources, significantly raising the price level. And any gain for one business would be offset by the loss to another business, meaning in the total economy, there would be exactly the same amount of production. So the economy has reached its maximum output. There can be no further gains in production, and any attempt to produce more will only lead to significant inflation. As stated previously, the economy normally operates in the black range, and therefore we generally draw only that range on graphs. But it's important to note that if a test question says something like, assume the economy is in a deep recession, or assume the economy has reached its maximum output, you will need to draw one of the other two phases. And any shifts that occur in these phases will produce different results. So to ensure that you get all those questions correct, you have to be a careful reader and start in the appropriate range.